as, as chairman of the board, before I introduce our great mayor, I do want to say that we are really doing great things at the DC Chamber. If you've been paying attention this year, we've had a record number of events, and I'm happy to say we have a record number of new members. As I said before, we're at 135 new members so far this year. So with our great new CEO, Chineri Hubbard, please, if you're not a member of the DC Chamber, please sign up and be a member of the DC Chamber, because we are the voice of business. We heard about the state of DC and what is needed to ensure continued growth in these unprecedented times, and what that means for local, national, and international engagement for business. We heard about new exciting things happening in healthcare. We just heard from our economic development panel. And then lastly, we heard about the latest and greatest in sports as well. And again, we're going to talk about the mayor and her and the council and everybody on her team and the great win of bringing the Commanders back to DC. We appreciate all her hard work on that. And that's a good segue to why I'm up here to do an introduction. I give long introductions because I want the mayor. The mayor's going to talk about the future, and she doesn't want me to say keynote speech, but this is a good speech for her to talk about the growth agenda, right? And so, you know, we all know the mayor was born in 1972. She was born in 1972. She had 6 siblings, and her parents, I would tell you, when you have 6 siblings, you know, people don't understand. Obviously, she's in her 3rd term as mayor, and the first African-American female mayor that's been elected 3 times. Yeah. But when you're the youngest of 6 kids, you're competitive, you know. And the mayor smiles, and she's a great politician to be elected 3 times as mayor. And we hope as a 4th that you have to say, yeah, there you go, let's go. That you have to say she's very competitive. And I've known Mayor Bowser for quite a while, and she is super competitive. And so, but that competitiveness has got us to great results, all right? Because in her 10 years, she has had a balanced budget, and she's continued the streak of 29 consecutive balanced budgets for Washington, D.C. Yeah. You know, the reason this is always the easiest job for me is because the mayor is not a talker. The mayor is a doer. She is results-oriented, and her results speak for herself. We've got a new hospital east of the river. Who would have thought that, right? You can talk about Skyland, you can talk about Walter Reed, you can talk about McMillan, I mean, you could talk about MLK Library, I mean, you could talk about DC United, I mean, you could talk for days of all her accomplishments in her 10 years as mayor. And again, what I'm glad to see is she's got a vision. Her vision is so good that in 2018, people don't even know this, she formed a committee for autonomous vehicles. Who even knew about autonomous vehicles in 2018, right? That's her vision. And when she was a council member, she did the P3 legislation. So when I say is we've got the right person at the right time as mayor to lead this city forward, because with her growth agenda, that's what we need. Our housing sector, because of some of the laws that were passed, was really in a bad spot. And I will say firsthand, the Rental Act is the first step in trying to improve it and making DC the #1 investment market in the world again. All right? So now, before I do introduce the mayor formally, I do want to say again, her win on the Commanders is incredible. But she's not only winning on that with her and the deputy mayor, she is really trying to transform DC into a technology hub. And I will say to you that under her leadership, there's been some really big announcements over the last 5 or 6 months on the technology side. So without further ado, I want to introduce Mayor Muriel Bowser, who is the 7th mayor, and let me tell you, she will continue to be mayor. All right, thank you.
Give a big round of applause to Chico Horton. I assure you I won't be talking as long as Chico. So good morning, everybody. I am honored to be here. I am honored to be your mayor, and I am so proud of the work that the DC Chamber of Commerce is doing. So give a big hand to the board, to Chinyeri Hubbard and all the staff. I am pleased also with the outstanding efforts in winning of my team, my big deal team at DMPED, led by Deputy Mayor Nina Albert. Please give them a big round of applause. And I kind of have these sayings, and over the years I just add to them. But one of my favorites is, you win by winning. And so every day we have to identify what the city needs, what we need to do, and to deliver on it for the residents of the District of Columbia. We set big goals and we set little ones too. And the way we win is to deliver on them every single day. I won't go back to 1972 or even 2015, but I will say this. We've made some really important progress. I promised DC residents some time ago that we would get 180 acres in the banks of the Anacostia River. We would make it a mixed-use development, and we would deliver jobs. We would deliver new homes, parks, and connections to the Anacostia. And we do indeed have the right partner at the right time, and we will bring our team home. So we're very proud of that. We also know that, and I was very, very happy to hear Jordan from Monumental Sports talk about the 1,200 people working at the arena. It'll be another round of that next summer and the following summer. And then we will deliver a transformed Cap One Arena in the heart of downtown Washington, D.C., and we're very proud of that. I was happy also to hear about the focus on D.C. residents and D.C. small and local businesses, and I know you were happy to hear about that too. In each of these negotiations, how we work with DC business has been central to our promise. And it's not just lip service. We know when we hire DC businesses hire DC residents, and you pay DC taxes. Get it? And that's how we can have great schools, great parks, great transportation, and safe streets. And so that is key to the work that we will do together. I'm proud of the partnership that we have with the council on both of these transformative projects. And it is delivering on another promise I made. I know the council's voting on this legislation, but I declared DC the sports capital 10 years ago. So in addition to having Jack Evans is in the room. So we will be only one of 6 cities in the United States of America that has all of its professional sports teams in the city limits. In a couple of years, we're going to host the NFL draft on the National Mall. And I believe, you heard it here, in 2031, we're going to host the Super Bowl. All right? That's what I believe. But Chico is also very right. We have spent my tenure really focused on how we would be number one, not just in the region, but in the nation in building affordable housing. And I like to lovingly refer to Anita Bonds as the council member for housing because she was my partner for most of that time in making sure we could deliver over $100 million every single year to build affordable housing in the district. And as a result, we beat our goal. We were supposed to make 36,000 units by 2025, and we did it completed by 2024. And that's a big deal. And now what we have to do is fix the system. The ecosystem got out of whack. It started with COVID. It was prolonged. And as a result, where we used to be the #1 place for investment in affordable housing, we're now towards the bottom. The Rental Act was long fought. It's mostly intact. So there's some things that we're going to come back to the council to fix, but it helps us make sure we're getting our system back in balance. You know what you need to have a great affordable housing system? People have to pay their rent, right? Landlords have to keep their buildings in order. We have to have good paying jobs so people can afford their rent. And we have to have a whole nother set of systems when it comes to utilities and energy costs and affordability. All of those things have to happen. But we have to make sure that if you have a lease, you agree to pay, you pay. And we have to say to landlords, you have to have safe and affordable housing. And that's the promise. That's the compact between landlord and tenant. And we have to get that balance back. And we think that the Rental Act will help us get there. Now, there are some other parts of the growth agenda that we worked on steadfastly. And we're going to be reintroducing those. So we're going to invite you. So stay tuned. We're going to have a standalone Tuesday. You know what that means? We're going to introduce standalone bills like the council wants. That's focused on how we grow. And it is true that we have a lot of great things happening in the district. And somehow we have to continue to beat back this notion that we're not good for business in DC. Because in fact, we are good for business. A lot of businesses start and grow here. A lot of developers have gotten their start here and become great businesses. A lot of IT companies are doing great work in Washington, D.C., and so on and so on and so on. So we want to make sure that our laws match our intense focus on being a great place to do business. Now, I won't sugarcoat it. We're going into years that are more lean than past years. And we have a shifting federal landscape, a shifting federal workforce. We have the federal government not doing as much business with federal contractors as they were. So all of us, the government included, have to shift the way we do business and the way we attract new customers. And so in addition to focusing on affordable housing and focusing on great development projects, I have really focused our team and our revenues into making sure we are attracting new businesses to the District of Columbia that are going to have good paying jobs and hire DC residents. I know you heard from Deputy Mayor Kine about our talent focus and leading the region and making sure that federal workers are staying in Washington, D.C. The term that I like is we have to make our region sticky. And the way we make it sticky is we have great neighborhoods, we have great schools, parks, restaurants. People don't want to leave Washington. So that's why we have to make sure that they have a good job that will keep them here. So the business development work that we have to do, and what you heard Nina say, is it's everybody's job. It's everybody's job in the region to make sure that we are attracting good employers to our region. It's also our job to make sure we're making good investments with your money. You know what happens when it gets lean? You know this. You're a business and you run a household. When things are a little bit leaner, the investments are even more important. And they're more important that they work. And so that is our commitment in every budget that we make, every program that we support, to make sure it's delivering for the district. So these are the questions I asked my team. Does this program or investment keep people and families or attract new DC residents? Yes or no? If the answer is no, it does not advance. Does this program or investment create economic activity to fund city for services? If it does, then it moves on. But the opposite is also true. If if it doesn't create economic activity or it doesn't attract new residents, but we like it, does it get funded? Does it advance? The answer is no. Does this program or investment attract new businesses and create new jobs for DC residents? So that's what all of you do every single day, and that's what you're advocating for every single day. So I want to thank the Chamber for helping us be focused, be really focused on our policy environment and making sure that things that we like or things that sound good can't also be counter to what we need to grow our economy, stay competitive, make sure we're sticky, keeping our residents and businesses and growing right here in the district. Now, as the mayor of the best city in the world, I wanted to be here to remind you that it's also your job to talk about the real DC, the beautiful neighborhoods, the great city services, the amazing schools, the real business people who go to work every single day, building economic growth for the nation's capital. Can I count on you to do that? All right, let's go get it.
We now return to our previously scheduled program, already in progress.